Good morning, class 10th. So, today I'm gonna finish this chapter with the last topic, in which excretory system I explained you on the last turn, and now the remaining part, that is the structure of kidney and nephron, I'll take tomorrow. So, this is the excretory system, you are aware of this. Now, let us discuss the structure of the kidney. So this is one is important. Sometimes this structure comes in your examination. So your kidney is basically a bean shaped structure. You can see a kidney bean like structure, and it is composed of two parts, that is the cortex, which is the outer part, and the medulla, which is the inner part of the kidneys. It is covered by a membrane which is known as capsule, and in that portion you will see in the medulla region, these are the medulla and these are known as the pyramids. These are the medullary pyramids. Okay, pyramids, these are looking like pyramids, that is why these are known as medullary pyramids. And these are basically formed by the collection of the collecting tubules. Okay, these are some means nephrons, which is the structural unit of the your excretion. It is placed here in this region, and this is how these medulla are formed. And these medulla are connected then to the these collecting ducts are present here, which open into this region, and this region is known as calyx. Okay, this portion, this you are seeing, this is known as calyx. So once the urine is formed, it gets into this portion, and then it goes into this portion which is known as ureter. These what you say nephrons are connected with the renal vein and renal artery. Okay, these actually bring the pure and impure blood. This brings the pure blood, and this takes the impure blood. So this is how the structure of the kidney is. It has structure, it has a structure which is known as this portion, this swollen portion is known as pelvis. Okay, so all the urine which is formed here in the medulla part where the nephrons are located, it is passed on to the calyx, and then from calyx it goes to the pelvis region, and from pelvis region it goes into the ureters. So this is the structure of the kidney. Now you see there is one gland which is present over here, which is known as adrenal gland. This gland is also known as emergency gland. When I'll start your next chapter, then I'll tell you why it is known as emergency gland, because it actually prepares you for the accidental conditions. And other function of this gland is in the excretion part, its function is to absorb the excess of water and the minerals or the salts. These are absorbed by this adrenal gland, which is also known as the suprarenal gland. The other name of this is suprarenal gland. Okay, whenever we are talking about renal, it means that we are talking about anything which is connected to the kidneys. In the same manner that in heart it is known as pulmonary, in the same manner here everything is known as renal. Now let us see how the nephrons are arranged in your kidney portion. See, it is the structure of the kidney, and it is supplied with the renal vein and renal arteries, which further branch into the arterioles, that is renal artery and renal veins, and further arterioles and venules are present here, which are connected to form such kind of structures which is known as a nephron. You can see these are the renal veins and renal arteries. These further branch to form a network of capillary which is present, like the renal artery forms the network of the arteries, which is called, it is called capillary, which is formed inside the glomerulus. Glomerulus is basically the capsule part of this one. So in this part, all the arteries branch to form the network of capillary, and other than that these renal veins again these branch up to cover up these are present near the loop of Henle, and these are actually the networks which means these are the these network of the capillaries are helpful in exchange of the materials which are present here, and the waste which is present it will be thrown out by this is known as collecting duct. Let me show you the diagram in a neat manner. See, in this way, these nephrons are arranged in the kidneys. Just to show you this one, I have taken this diagram. This is the one that I was talking about. This is one pyramid, okay, and inside your kidney, some millions of the around 1 million these nephrons are present. So these nephrons are arranged in this manner. You can see this is one nephron, this is one nephron, and these are arranged in this manner. And this is the renal vein, renal artery, and this is the renal vein. And these are connected in this form to form these tubules, these large tubules, which are known as nephrons. Now let me show you a neat and clean diagram of a nephron. So this is the structure of a nephron. One nephron is like this. So it has basically three or you can say four parts are present here. First one is Bowman's capsule. Then this is the first beginning part of this one, this nephron, and this Bowman's capsule is actually formed by the this is like this, it is like this one, it is a cup shaped structure in which many what you say these blood capillaries, these renal veins, these renal arteries, actually renal arteries, or you can say the afferent renal artery is actually present here in the form of capillaries, and it forms a structure. This structure is known as glomerulus, okay, and this glomerulus is located inside a capsule which is known as Bowman's capsule. Okay, so this is the first part of the nephron, okay, and this nephron is then this means this Bowman's capsule is connected to so many tubules in which first part is known as proximal convoluted tubule, second one is known as loop of Henle, and third one is known as distal convoluted tubule, and the last one is known as collective duct. It is not collection duct, it is collective duct, okay. So these are the three or four parts, three kind of the tubules which are present here. This proximal convoluted tubule is the first part of the tubule which is connected to the Bowman's capsule, and here the ultrafiltration takes place. Then descending this is descending limb and ascending limb, means the loop of Henle or this finer tubule is known as loop of Henle, which actually it is running downwards and it is going upside, that is why it is known as ascending and descending. So these tubules are connected to further more means it has more diameter than this one, this loop of Henle, and these are the last part of the tubules which is known as distal convoluted tubule. That is the last part of the tubule, and it is connected, means so many nephrons. See, you can see this nephron is also connected, this nephron is also connected, so many nephrons are connected to the main collective duct. See, this is a collective duct by which you can see by here also so many nephrons are arranged, and these all have the same structures which I have discussed with you, that is Bowman's capsule and the proximal convoluted tubule, descend that is loop of Henle, and distal convoluted tubule, and these finally open into the collecting duct. Okay, now you see here occurs the ultrafiltration, okay, then here in this part, when the blood is passing through this part, all the things which are required by our body, these are absorbed. And once everything is absorbed, then only water, ammonia, and some of the things which are harmful, that like toxics, are present. These are present here, which go into this collecting duct, and that from collecting duct, these open into the this part, that is calyx, and from calyx it goes into the pelvis part, and then from pelvis to ureters, that is the urine is formed in this manner. So basically, urine is formed by the mixing of ammonia. Okay. uh, First of all, this, let me tell you, oh, sorry, I forgot to tell you, this ammonia is actually the byproduct of the digestion of the proteins and nucleic acids. This ammonia combines with the carbon dioxide which is present in your body when you inhale the when you exhale, some of the carbon dioxide is still left in your body. So these two things combine to form one less harmful substance, which is known as NH2CO N sorry this NH2, which is known as urea. Okay. And water vapors are also released. This process occurs in the liver cells. This liver cells convert the ammonia into urea by using the carbon dioxide, and water vapors are released. And that urea is actually the harmful, it just means less harmful, but it is needed to be removed. That's why when the blood is carried out to this part, all the things which are useful, these are being reabsorbed. And then when the final products are going to this way, that is the collecting duct, then only urea and the water is remaining, which is actually known as urine. Okay. So let me show you how the ultrafiltration and all these things takes place. See, so here is the part, this is where the afferent and efferent arterioles are present. This is, let me change the color of this. This is known as afferent arteriole. Are actually the finer branches of the arteries, and these actually carry the impure blood to the glomerulus. And this part, these capillaries which are going to that side, these are known as efferent arteriole. So due to the difference in the diameter, because you can see here that here these arteries are, means when the renal artery and renal veins are present here, these further branch, and then when these further branch, these form this capillary network, which is having a lesser diameter than this outer portion. That is why when the blood is blood is brought here, due to the high pressure, many substances, many molecules which are lesser in the diameter, these filter out, and this process is known as ultrafiltration. Now I think you get the point. Ultrafiltration is actually the point or the process by which the substances which are present in the blood are filtered out due to the lesser diameter of the capillaries which are present in this region. And because this is present in the Bowman's capsule, so it means it is exerting one kind of pressure, due to which all the things which are lesser in diameter, these filter out, and these finally reach into this part from where the tubules start. So once this first portion, means in this portion when the ultrafiltration takes place, this filtrate when anything is filtered out, whatever is remaining, which is known as filtrate contains all these things. It has some ions like sodium, calcium, magnesium, calcium, water, glucose, amino acids, proteins. All these things are present in this filtrate, and these things will be then reabsorbed in other regions. Like when these are moving towards the first part, which is known as the proximal convoluted tubule, this is this region, when it is passing through this part, then all such things like these things are again filtered out, and once these are filtered out, then it reaches to this part, which is known as this loop of Henle. Here this urea is again reabsorbed, water is again reabsorbed, and some ions are again secreted out. This is known as selective reabsorption. Means whatever the things are required, like glucose is required, amino acids, proteins, vitamins are required, these things, lactate is required, all these things are again reabsorbed here. And because here many blood capillaries are present, okay, that is due to the veins, it is present here. So all the things which are required or not required due to the difference in the diameter, these things are again brought into the blood, and that blood is again can be brought into this portion for further filtration. And whatever is remaining, now it will move towards the distal convoluted tubule, DTC, distal convoluted tubule, DCT. So in this region, again due to the change in the diameter, some more substances will be taken up, like all the ions, that is sodium, potassium, all kind of the ions are again reabsorbed here. And if anything is again remaining, it will be taken from the blood, and it will be again taken to this part and filtered. And then finally what left is the water and urea, which is known as urine. Okay, so this is the function of the nephron, that is to continuously take the blood from the mainstream to absorb different kind of the substances in different regions, and only the things which are harmful for your body, that is urea, water, that remains here. Excess of water is also absorbed here due to the adrenal gland, and this thing is known as urea, which gets into the collecting duct. And this collecting duct, as I told you, it opens into the pelvis region, and from pelvis to the ureters. So this is how the urine is formed. There is one more part which is known as secretion. Secretion is actually to take the things which are required for your body from the blood. This part is known as secretion, and it is also carried out in this region. So now your chapter is complete. I'll provide you the last notes of this chapter, and once you have done, you need to show your copies to me. Thank you, class.